At that time, the background was all sensor data. I will update you on the current situation of the Middle East war. It has been reported that Russia is supporting Iran's military resources during the ceasefire period. A New York Times report citing US officials says Russia is sending drone parts to Iran via the Caspian Sea to help Iran restore its attack capabilities after the war. Iran and Russia have long traded goods, including military supplies, via the Caspian Sea. During the war, the Israeli military struck Bandar Anzali port on the Caspian coast to block Russian military equipment transport. At the time, reports indicated Shahed drones, shells, and other ammunition were entering Iran via that port. This report comes amid news that Russia has proposed providing Iran with 5,000 short-range fiber-optic drones and long-range satellite-guided drones equipped with Starlink terminals. However, there is still no evidence that the drone parts Russia is supplying during the ceasefire are directly linked to these fiber-optic or FPV drones. Russia's supply of drone parts goes beyond basic military aid and appears tied to Iran's efforts to rebuild its missile and drone capabilities for potential future conflicts with the United States and Israel. It has been reported that Iran is currently trying to recover weapon systems and launchers that were hidden in underground facilities or buried under debris after airstrikes by the United States and Israel. If another conflict erupts in the Middle East, Iran may use these restored weapon systems and launchers to retaliate against US forces in regional countries. China reportedly backed Iran's attacks on US military bases during the war. On May 8, the US State Department sanctioned 4 organizations for aiding Iran's attacks on US forces in the Middle East during the war, including several Chinese companies. The sanctions targeted Earth-Eye and Changguang satellite technology, which are based in China. These companies reportedly provided Iran with satellite images of US and allied military facilities in the Middle East. Russia reportedly gave satellite data on US military sites and Shahed drones to aid Iran's attacks. In other words, in this war, it is becoming increasingly clear that Russia and China have supported Iran not only with diplomatic backing, but also by providing actual military intelligence and equipment. The United States is currently increasing pressure on China over its moves to support Iran's military capabilities. On May 8, the US Department of the Treasury imposed sanctions on a total of 10 individuals and companies for allegedly supporting the procurement of weapon components and raw materials used in Iran's drone and ballistic missile production. Several companies from mainland China and Hong Kong are also included. However, it's still unclear if these companies tried to supply Iran with weapon parts or materials during the ceasefire. China has previously supported the rebuilding of Iran's missile capabilities. After the Israel-Iran war in June 2025, China reportedly helped restore Iran's ballistic missile program by supplying sodium perchlorate, a key solid fuel ingredient. Negotiations for peace are underway, but Iran has not yet officially responded to the latest proposal from the United States, and it seems likely that Iran will continue rebuilding its military power while the negotiations are ongoing. Esmail Baghaei, the representative of the Iranian Ministry of Foreign Affairs, stated on May 9th that Iran is currently reviewing the US proposal, but also made it clear that they will not pay attention to any deadlines. US President Donald Trump warned on May 6th that Iran had 1 week to reach a deal to end the war and set terms for future nuclear talks. However, key issues still remain between the two sides. The main obstacles are Iran's uranium enrichment rights, its stockpile of highly enriched uranium, and resuming operations at the Hormuz facility. Axios reported on May 8, citing 2 sources, that Qatar is now a key mediator between the United States and Iran. The report states that Qatari authorities are in contact with senior Revolutionary Guard officials involved in Iran's decisions, as well as with American officials and the Pakistani mediation team. Satellite images have captured traces of what is believed to be a large-scale oil spill near Kharg Island in the Persian Gulf. However, the exact cause of the spill has not yet been identified. The New York Times reported on May 8, based on satellite images, that a massive oil slick was confirmed near Kharg Island. Orbital EOS, a global marine pollution monitoring company, reported that by May 6, the oil spill covered more than 50 square kilometers, possibly leaking over 3,000 barrels of crude oil into the sea. The cause of the spill is unclear, but experts say Iran recently began storing large quantities of crude oil in tankers for long periods may have raised the risk of accidents. Due to the US maritime blockade, Iran's crude oil exports from major ports are restricted, so Iran increasingly stores crude oil temporarily in tankers. Another concern is possible damage to the aging underwater oil pipeline between the Abazar oil field and Kharg Island. Experts explained that there have been repeated leakage incidents in the pipeline over the past several years, and there was an actual rupture in October 2024. Meanwhile, an Israeli OSINT analyst assessed that it is highly likely this oil spill occurred either due to a malfunction of specific equipment or during the process of Iran cleaning the inside of an oil tanker. It was reported that in commercial satellite images taken on May 9, the leaked oil slick had moved southward and was seen to have spread and diluted significantly. If we get more updates, I'll make and upload a video. This concludes the video, thank you.
Ja.